Didn't your leaders cozy up to wicked emperors, Tsars, and even communists? How do you feel about Putin? Um, let's see. John Chrysostom, one of the most regarded men in the church, was exiled 7 times and died in exile. He, in the middle of service, while he's giving his homily, he called the empress a whore. The Byzantine emperors, with exception to Constantine, Heraclius, and Manuel II, have been a nightmare on the Orthodox Church. They were the institutors of iconoclasm. Many of them were Arians. They basically thought they could bargain with the Muslims and cost a lot of Christian lives. They mistreated people. They were trash. Constantine, I can say from reading Eusebius and every other work that I've ever found on Constantine, was his conversion was true and honest, and he seemed to do it out of just sheer belief in Christ. And he just enacted tolerance for all religions. He thought that's what Christianity wanted. It wasn't until Theodosius, at the end of the century, and I already explained that about Julian the Apostate and why they basically had to turn it Christian, right? Tsars, I believe the first Orthodox Tsar was slain by his brother Boris, first martyr. Ivan the Terrible, Peter the Not So Great, who actually brought in Lutheranism, changed the Muscovite court to a French court, and had people dressed up like the noblemen of France. Imagine that, a bunch of hardcore Russians and a bunch of frilly wigs trying to look like Louis the 16th, you know. And as for the communist Saint Tikhon, the Patriarch of Moscow said, after I die, when I get killed by the communists, do not listen to this patriarchate. Do not listen to the sea. Go and form your own communities. This probably meant the Russian community in the United States, which became the OCA, right? Because Russia had jurisdiction over all of America and brought in people like Raphael for the Arabs and brought in Greek priests for the Greeks. But people interpret this differently. That's why in the United States you have Antiochian, Greek, Russian, Serbian, Romanian, Orthodox. Why you have the panoply of Orthodox. Whereas if you're Orthodox and you go to an Orthodox country, you know, in Romania there's not Serbian Orthodox churches or Russian Orthodox churches. In Russia there's not, I think there might be Antiochian just because of the Arab presence. As for Putin, Putin did one thing that I don't like, and that is, I'm a nationalist. I believe all nations, all peoples have a right to exist and abide by their own culture, being free from imperialism, which means I'm against communism because it's imperialistic. I'm against all forms of colonialism, and I'm against Islamism, ISIS, the Islamic State, the Caliphate, the conquest of that, against all these empires. I'm a nationalist. I think all cultures should be respected, and it causes us to appreciate cultures better. So Putin getting in with the Ukraine, I don't like that, but everything else Putin's done, 100% for. He denied entry. He denied the Pope entry to Russia. So the Pope was going to consecrate Russia to the Catholic Church. Both the Patriarch and Putin said no. You set foot on this here, we'll treat you nicely, but we will put you immediately back on that plane and send you back to the Vatican. We will not have the Pope come here. he has cracked down on cults and stuff, and traditionally a Christian country that suffered under the horrible scourge of communism for almost 100 years, to have groups like Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons come in there before the people can get their own sense of natural spirituality back is wrong, and there shouldn't be Scientologists there either. Russian Orthodox are the Russian Orthodox people, but in fact it's just Eastern Orthodoxy is what it is. But I love Putin. He actually tried to stop ISIS, and Obama stopped him. He was helping Bashar al-Assad, and Obama said, no, 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 no. You can't help defend Bashar al-Assad, who's defending the minorities, like all the Christians, every sect of Christian, every minority of Muslim, every minority, even Jews, Yazidis. You know, because Russia sees itself as the protector of the Orthodox. Good. The last two emperors that we've had are Haile Selassie and Tsar Nicholas II. I think they were both good men. Definitely Haile Selassie, also known as Rastafari. But as for cozying up to wicked leaders, it was no. I mean, that's the worst enemy of the church were Byzantine emperors. And czars and stuff like that. And the communists, if we were in a boasting match, the Orthodox Church has had the most martyrs every single year since, I don't know, since the first split. Since 1054, we've had more martyrs. At one point, when the Council of Florence was going on, and all the bishops agreed to rejoin the Pope of Rome, and he would call European armies to keep, parts of Syria and Anatolia and the Levant from being overrun by Muslims completely. There was one holdout, Mark of Ephesus, and when those bishops came back, they were hanged off of balconies. They had their guts ripped open, and the people cried, "Better the turban of the Sultan than the mitre of the Pope." But no, that actually was an anomaly. No cozying up the leaders. Athanasius, there was a period, Athanasius Contra Mundo, when basically the whole world fell into Arianism. St. Nicholas was thrown into jail for slapping Arius for speaking his heresy. That's enough for now, but you get the point. No, the Byzantine emperors had screwed up so much and caused persecutions. Many martyrs came out of supposed Christian emperors.